Hi, I'm Alicia. Join me as I unravel the Tylenol poisoning case, delve into profiling systems, and explore the psychological explanations behind an unusual instance of serial poisoning within a family. What is a profiling system and how does it help us understand and predict crime? Offender profiling refers to the process of developing a psychological and behavioral profile of a potential offender by analyzing data from a victim and other pertinent sources. The goal is to help law enforcement by reducing the pool of possible suspects, and profiling is frequently employed in situations when the identity of the offender is uncertain. The UK utilizes a bottom up approach to profiling established by David Cantor, who proposed a five-factor model which creates a thorough behavioral profile. Introduction to my chosen case study. The Tylenol poisoning of 1982 can be deemed as an act of domestic terrorism. It left 7 people dead who ingested cyanide-laced Tylenol capsules in Chicago. The killing led to significant consequences such as legislation changes and even enticed copycat killings, panicking the nation. The victims. The perpetrator randomly targeted his victims as they were not connected to each other. The ages of the victims ranged from 12 years old to 35 and came from a variety of backgrounds, showing the murderer did not attack one specific demographic. The victims all shared the common factor of consuming Tylenol, which is a renowned and reliable over the counter drug. Discovery and effect of cyanide. There was a manipulation of the Tylenol capsules, resulting in the introduction of cyanide into the drug. The products were tampered with after they were put on the store shelves, and the patients showed instant symptoms. The aftermath. The murders led to a nationwide panic, and the public was told to refrain from consuming Tylenol products. The manufacturer of Tylenol issued a production recall, and the FBI initiated a thorough investigation. The five-factor model can be used to create a possible profile of the perpetrator. We can deduce the murderer has good local knowledge. Under the factor of time and space, we can see the Tylenol killing is indicative of an organized killing. The perpetrator is in control, and the evidence suggests the plan was systematically organized. For example, the perpetrator took careful steps to avoid being found by placing the tampered pills in different stores in Chicago. The perpetrator has good forensic awareness, as they would have tampered with the capsules after the distribution to retailers. This is important as it shows the perpetrator is most likely intended to reduce the likelihood of discovery. Thus, this links to our following point of interpersonal coherence, which suggests that the offender's actions may mirror the behavior in a non-criminal context. For example, the perpetrator left a very clean crime scene. Thus, we can deduce that the killer might be an individual who may be very persistent in keeping things clean. The person probably has no criminal career. The murderer left very minimal evidence behind, and they were not supported on any surveillance. The killer's modus operandi was not in line with the usual criminal conduct of those who are very well-known offenders. Consequently, this leads to the factor of criminal characteristics. The person probably has a very skilled job and has a high IQ. The examination of the thallium poisoning case reveals a compelling link between psychological factors and criminal actions, with delusional disorder emerging as a potentially explanatory framework. Persecution, conceit, envy, and physical worries are common motifs within delusions. Subsequently, conceit and cunningness are attributes that have been displayed by the perpetrator in my chosen case study. For instance, the perpetrator systematically administers the poison over several weeks into bottles of water that the family drank from. He was very calculated in his ways as he ordered the thallium sulfate from a company located significantly far from his residence. Thus, this indicates that Mr. A acted in a cunning way as he tried his best to not be traced back to the crime. Moreover, Mr. A had intentions of murder that were spurred on by his religious delusions, as he claimed to have heard voices that told him to punish his family. Subsequently, this can be critically applied to the Tylenol murderer, as similar behavioral tendencies are displayed. For example, the Tylenol murderer was also very underhand and systematic when it came to the tampering of the Tylenol. The killer was cunning enough to place the tampered pills in different stores. The modus operandi shares commonalities with Mr. A's approach, suggesting a shared inclination towards methodical and secretive actions. Moreover, the murders may have happened due to the perpetrators having an inflated self-image. Mr. A believed that he had the moral high ground to punish his relatives, as unlike him, they took part in idolatory behavior. By killing his relatives, he was able to feel a sense of control over his situation. Similarly, this behavior can be mirrored in the Tylenol murderer, as the perpetrator may have thought that society had done something wrong to them. Despite this, both case studies failed to explore learned and biological behaviors. Overall, David Cantor's profiling system can be criticized, as not all criminals fit the given profile. Criminal profiling, which uses behavioral analysis to detect criminals, has been criticized for a lack of standardization, possible biases, and inconsistent success rates. Its validity and ethical implications are questioned by critics, who highlight the necessity for continued research and consideration for culture in its implementation.